Welcome to Wellness Wednesday and the Chronic Wellness Radio Show. I'm Sandra Silva. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday. You know, I've been doing this show for over a year now. And even when I'm not here in the studio, I have designated Wednesdays as Wellness Wednesday. And I always try to do something to support my well-being in one way or another. And on Wednesdays, I also try to be off duty for taking care of everybody else. So yeah, I really love my Wednesdays, and I like to focus on health and wellness all the time. So here's a thought. When we think about health and wellness, I think we sometimes get it backwards. If we consider health to be the absence of disease, well, you know what? We are setting that bar pretty low. Being healthy should represent us being at our optimum level. The truth is, though, that that's not the case for most people. However, here's the good news. It does not have to be an all or nothing concept. We can up-level our health and wellness in so many ways. And when we do that, we can experience a better quality of life. And it is never too late to start. You just need to be inspired and motivated. On this Wellness Wednesday, I'm actually pretty excited to share something with you guys. You know, I talk a lot about how I have recently started, well, it feels recently over my lifetime of not doing any physical exercise, but for the last 18 months, I've been going to the gym. And I absolutely love it. I love moving my body. I love exercising. I love the increased energy that I get, and I'm strengthening and toning. But you know what? I have not lost any weight. And, you know, I was kind of okay with that until I wasn't, if that makes any sense. And I was motivated to move my body and work out, but I wasn't at all looking at what I was eating, and it really made a big difference. Then, and here's the cool part that I'm really so stoked about, as it happens with so many pivotal moments in my life, just like I'm sure it does with yours, something clicks, and I found the inspiration I was needing. So this is what happened. A couple of months ago, I started to notice a real shift in one of my Facebook friends. She had started eating a ketogenic diet, which I was intrigued of for starters, but what really caught my attention was the enthusiasm, the motivation, and the way she was showing up and embracing life with such a passion, moving her body, practicing self-care, and encouraging others to do the same. She inspired me into action, and I knew I wanted to have her on the show. This inspiring woman is Carol Rosher, and she's going to be joining me in a few minutes, and we are going to be talking about the keto diet and health benefits of ketosis that go way beyond weight loss. But our topic today goes even deeper than that. We are going to discuss taking ownership of your life, finding your passion, figuring out your why, and reclaiming your health along the way. As far as keto goes, we are not only going to let you know what that looks like, but we are both going to share tools and strategies to help you navigate the journey more successfully. First and foremost, we want to inspire you to believe in yourself and be the very best version of you that you can. And it all starts with us, right? When we believe in ourselves, anything is possible. We are going to make you a believer today about what you can do to empower and live your very, very best life. Welcome back to Chronic Wellness here on CHLY. I'm so excited to bring my guest on. With me here in the studio today is the one and only Carol Rosher, a Canadian comedian, YouTuber, ketone queen. You know, Carol is a hysterical, no bullshit, calls them as she sees them, 44-year-old mom to a 3.5-year-old daughter who recently beat kidney cancer and knew that something had to change. Now she uses her humor, kindness, and ability to connect with anyone to not only conquer her own demons, but to inspire others along the way to do the same. Hi, Carol. Welcome to Chronic Wellness.
Good afternoon, Sandra. I'm so excited to be here and talk ketones and ketosis with you, my friend.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're gonna share with you guys a little secret that's going on here in the booth. So
Sandra and I are getting very close today.
we are very, very close. It almost feels intimate.
It
Doesn't
does
it?
feel
It
intimate.
feels very intimate.
Listen, I have to warn you, there is such a thing as keto libido, and we'll talk
dear.
about that later.
Okay,
But
all right.
with the peppermint essential oil you just gave me, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. So when I walk into the studios today, and I love and support community radio, and believe you me, but Arby tells me that we only have one functioning microphone today. So usually, if you can imagine the setup in the booth, there's me over here, and then there's a fairly expansive desk, and on the other side is the guest in their comfortable chair with their own individual mic. Not today. Carol, could you describe what's going on?
I feel like you might have set this up, Sandra. I'm not quite sure, but if I was any closer, I would literally be sitting on your lap right now, Sandra.
You would. So anyway, so that's what's going on with that. So anyway, I'm so glad that Carol and I have become really close friends, and it's kind of interesting the way we initially met, and it was maybe 2-3 years ago.
I think it would have been 3 years ago, because I just had my 1.5 year checkup post cancer, my post cancer checkup. And you and I would have met before I had my kidney out.
We did, yeah.
Just before. So I would say about 2 years actually.
Okay, so that was we met at a cancer support group, and Carol showed up there one time only, and for whatever reason, neither of us recall. We ended up friending each other on Facebook, and nothing really. We never connected. We never hung out. We never did anything, and then, like I said in my intro, I started seeing. You just changed, and you had all this energy, and you were speaking my language about being empowered and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, so I know that's the woman I met, but that's not the woman I met, right?
Well, 100%. I mean, before I met you, I had quite a presence on YouTube and Facebook and different things, and I would do my comedy thing and put myself out there. And when I was diagnosed with kidney cancer, that sucks a lot of life out of you in some ways, or it can for a little bit if you let it. And I lost the desire to put myself out there in a public way. And when you met me, I believe it was only 2 weeks before I had my right kidney taken out to remove the cancer from my body. And luckily, I was so lucky, and it was all contained within that surgery. Everything got fixed for me on a cancer level, but I certainly wasn't feeling very funny at the time that you met me. And, that is something I had a really hard time finding again after those experiences, after you've dealt with a life-threatening illness at 41, and when you have at the time a 1.5-year-old daughter. It really, puts a damper on things in some ways in your mind, and you go into a place of depression and anxiety from that. And so it wasn't for me until ketones and the ketogenic diet that I was able to pull myself out of that mentally.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about ketones, the ketogenic diet. It would, it's something. It's something that maybe people have heard of. Maybe they haven't. But basically, a keto diet is a low carb, high fat, moderate protein.
Certainly. And ketosis in itself is the state in which the body starts burning fat for fuel. So your body can run on different types of fuel. I kind of compare it to a car, right? When you go to the gas station, you can put in regular unleaded, you can put in super unleaded, or you could put in supreme unleaded. So regular unleaded would be running on a carbohydrate diet, which is where most people within the Western society run at this point in time, is on carbs. You probably never even your body probably doesn't even have a chance to run on protein in with the amount of carbs that we take in the Western civilization. But if you do get through the carbs, then you go and you start running on protein, and protein burns a little bit longer and a little bit better. I would call that your super gas at the gas station. And then you move on to ketosis, and ketosis is when your body burns fat for fuel, and it is the longest, strongest energy fuel for your body. And the effects that it has on your body go far more and far further than just weight loss.
Absolutely. And that's what is so fascinating with it. And with the weight loss is a good benefit for sure. But I want to back it up a little bit and talk about one of the things that when you and I were kind of talking, it's just like, wow, you think a couple of relatively young women like ourselves, and I'm going to call us that,
Yes.
that having gone through our own individual cancer experiences, you'd have thought that would have been the wake-up call to say, you know what, I guess I really shouldn't be having this big love affair with sugar. And for whatever reason, it just didn't happen. And I talked about how there's something changes, something switches. And I love your story of what really turned things around and made you want to give this a go.
Well, like any addiction, sugar and carbs are an addiction in our society that's much more prevalent than any of the others. People just don't really vocalize it as an addiction. And the first step for me was realizing that it was an addiction. And how I realized that was the same as what you're thinking. I used to drive by the cancer ward and I would see people smoking outside, and I would say to myself, what has to change for you to not smoke when you're literally outside the cancer ward? But here I was, post losing a kidney after surgery. And I mean, if you investigate cancer on any, it's a lot of what feeds cancers are the carbohydrates and the sugar and things like that. And, I'd had cancer at what is relatively a young age. But yet I was still putting the same processed food, the same crap, the same sugar, the same carbohydrates into my system. And one day my fiance turned to me, and what she said to me was so powerful that it stirred something that had to change in me. And that was, she said, honey, like, you've already had cancer. And it would have been tragic if our daughter lost you to that cancer. And it would be tragic if our daughter lost you to a car accident or something that you couldn't control. But you are literally sitting in front of me every day making the same choice to put the same foods in your body. And it is not fair of you. If Taya loses you because you didn't want to save yourself, then that is not okay. And I just thought, here I am saying that my daughter Taya is the most important thing in my life, but I'm literally killing myself in front of her daily.
Right. And it's just, it's that conversation that really hit home, and it's so true. And bad habits, we were talking to you and I about how I was telling you how I had slipped into just really, really lazy bad habits of sort of treating myself while I was out running errands and stuff, but just, picking up a chocolate bar here or a slice of pizza there, and it adds up. And you have this precious life that we have, and we want to be around, but we also want to feel good. It's not just enough to just be existing. We want to be thriving. It's so important. And so your daughter you're doing this for her. However, it has really woken up your self-care, your own value that you're putting to you as an individual.
Exactly. And along with that, I mean, I'm a better parent. I'm a better partner. I'm a better person. Loving yourself, I think, is a lifelong learning curve. And I feel like in the last 4 months of being on a ketogenic diet and living this lifestyle, that I have, sped that process up tenfold. I want to meditate. I want to take the time for myself. I want to get the exercise. I never wanted to get off the couch before. So of course I'm a better parent when I want to get down on the floor with my daughter and play with her and not worry about having to get back up again. Of course I'm a better parent when I have more mental energy to deal with the Mama Carol, Mama Carol, Mama Carol, Mama Carol, Mama Carol. Of course I'm a better partner when I'm in a better mood. And, these are all the things that I started focusing on. And then guess what? As other people start to like you better, you start to like yourself better, because nobody likes to be that grumpy, lazy person on the couch. Nobody likes that. They just don't know how to get themselves out of it.
That's so true, and that's why I'm so excited that it's the switch flip for me as well. And it was watching you do your videos and doing your stuff, and I thought, wow, it's possible. I want that. I want to feel better. And then here's the thing, though. This is not talking about a diet as in being restrictive and eating this way. It is a lifestyle, because it's all about the choices that you make, so on and so forth. But specifically, ketosis, which is what happens when you eat a ketogenic diet or you're doing things to support your body for ketosis. Ketosis is like Carol was saying, of when we start burning fat instead of glucose. But seriously, people, the amount of benefits that it does to your overall health. I did a post a while back promoting the show and said, any health condition that you have, any sort of chronic ailment or condition that you're experiencing, type it into the Google search bar and then type the word ketosis and see what comes up.
Well, and here's the thing. People think that keto is like the new thing, the new fad. And, if you do any sort of investigation into the ketogenic lifestyle, you're going to find it's not a fad. It's not only has it been around since the caveman. I mean, think about back to the caveman. They weren't baking bread. They weren't grinding wheat. They were eating protein, and they were eating green leafy vegetables, maybe some berries and fruit if they found it, which are all allowed on a ketogenic diet. And that's how they were sustaining themselves back in the dark ages. Take a look at babies that are born. People don't know babies are born in a state of ketosis. It's the natural state that you come into this world, guys. And so people view this as this new fad diet, and it's just simply not the truth. The ketogenic diet has been around for decades, and it's just now catching on as like a media catchword or something where people are trying to look at it for fat loss. But myself, as a person who literally started this as a fat loss tool, I think 2 months into it, the last thing I've thought about is fat loss.
Yeah, no, it's because you're getting the benefits for it. And, so much is this not just a fad diet? You know what is the fad and the popularity craze? It's the fact that the grain producers and all the lobbyists and put grain and carbs and the processed food in order. It was a business decision, not at all a how to fuel our bodies decision. And that's actually really quite sad when you think about it. And our bodies we don't perform all of that. You look at obesity, specifically in North America, and it's not a healthy way to eat. And so I've been eating a ketogenic diet for 2 months now. It'll be it's almost exactly 2 months, and I'm loving the foods I'm eating. I'm eating real food. I'm enjoying it. I got my fun back for cooking again. The major difference, and the reason why I think I've been partially so successful on this, is I've cut out eating all the just horrible snacky stuff I was. And it's amazing how satiated you are, how satisfied you become with not having to gorge on food.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the main key pluses to being on a ketogenic diet is a satiation level that I've never experienced before. I'm 44 years old, and I've tried every diet, just like most people out there that have ever tried to lose weight. And this is the first quote unquote diet I've ever done in my life where I don't feel hungry, where I don't feel cravings, because protein and fats are what keep you full. Everybody who tells you, that you should be eating all these green leafy, salad. Well, that's great. And you definitely need your greens too. However, if that's all you're eating, no wonder you're starving. No wonder you're not going to be successful. I don't know about you, but if I'm hungry in any way, I will not be successful. I hate feeling hungry.
Yeah, no, it's feeling hungry, feeling that you're missing out is
and sweets, Sandra.
And you're sweets.
You can have sweets on the ketogenic diet. You can. But you just you do them a little bit differently. You use monk fruit sweetener, Lakanto monk fruit sweetener is one I like, erythritol, different things of that. Sugar alcohols, basically, your body does not recognize it as sugar, a sugar alcohol. It can't process it. Therefore, you don't have any spike in glucose, which is where you have the problems like when you're diabetic and different things like that with sugar or anything like that. Or even when you're fasting, you can use those types of sugar alcohols because your body will not register them as sugar and take you out of your fast, which is interesting. But the point being, you can make brownies, you can make cheesecakes, you can make cinnamon buns, you can make pancakes, you can make muffins, you can make anything.
Pizza. I made pizza last night.
Pizza, right? Like, how is this a diet when I'm eating a pizza crust with Alfredo sauce on it and some steak and mushrooms and some more cheese? I mean, is that a diet like anything you've ever followed before, Sandra?
It's not at all. And also, previously, I would be eating way more pieces of pizza. Like I'm satisfied now with a different level, and it takes and you know it takes a while to get it figured out. But it's amazing. So the weight loss for sure. And I don't know, did I tell people how much weight I lost?
I don't think you have.
I've been on it now for 2 months, and I've lost 21 pounds
that's huge
of fat.
That's
like,
huge.
It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm motivated. I'm feeling good, and it's a really nice addition to the physical activity that I've been doing.
I love it. And that's one of the things, that we talk about in the ketogenic community. You'll hear a lot of people talk about fat loss and not weight loss, because when you are on a ketogenic diet, because you're burning fat from fuel, you are truly having fat loss. You're not burning through the muscle. You're not burning through any of the other things that give you false results on the scale. So sometimes when you're on a ketogenic diet, you won't notice huge decreases for a certain amount of time with a ketogenic diet, and then you'll notice what's called a whoosh. It's called a whoosh effect. So what happens is all your fat cells, as you're losing the fat that's in them, they go, okay, well, Carol's going to start feeding us fat again. So they fill up with water because they don't want to go anywhere. They want to make sure that they're there for when I give them their McDonald's again. And then they go after, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It depends on the person. The longer you've been bigger, the longer it's going to take for your body to realize that you're not going to do the same thing you've always done before. And when it does, all of the water in those fat cells that have collected is all going to whoosh out of your system. And that's why people like Sandra have these huge 20 pounds in 2 months. That's amazing, Sandra.
Thank you. And it is. It's pretty neat. And this eating with what I'm liking, because keto is being talked about now in lots of areas, medical professionals, lifestyle, everything. There's so much resources out there. I've been finding so many amazing recipes. My biggest source for recipes is Instagram. It's just like there's some amazing content.
Tons on Pinterest as well.
And Pinterest, yeah, for sure. And Facebook and all those kind of things. And you can look up with the simplest handful of ingredients that you can get, at the bulk barn or whatever, or in the bulk section. I mean, that's where I'm getting all my almond flour and all these things. And it's you can be creative. You can make things that are really really simple. You can have fun, and what about the health benefits? What are some of we're not doctors or medical professionals.
We all said.
But we are we're people that pay attention to what's out there, and it's not hocus pocus. It's not some product or potion or company telling you ketosis. It's the effects that it has on the body for a lot of chronic conditions.
Mm-hmm. And for starters, what I would say about that is just like the actual formation of a ketogenic diet was first tried with children with epilepsy. I can't remember the exact year off the top of my head. About 25 years ago, there was a scientist who started feeding a ketogenic diet to children with epilepsy and found that it lessened their seizure activities, and they were having a lot of success with this particular trial group of kids. And so the U.S. Navy actually contracted a scientist by the name of Dr. Veach to develop an exogenous ketone that would assist the Navy divers when they got to great depths. They were experiencing seizure activity, and the U.S. Navy contracted Dr. Veach over 20 years ago to develop an exogenous ketone that would assist their divers not to have the seizure activity when they got to those depths. And at the time, it was a contract for about $2 million, which by today's standards would be like $200 million probably. And it was a huge, big deal. And so people have known for a very long time the effects that it can have on epilepsy, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia. Dementia and Alzheimer's information is starting to come mainstream with the effects that it's having on that. But I mean, we're talking everything. There's testimonials out there. All you have to do is Google it. Again, we are not doctors, but Google it. Pretty much any condition you have, if you Google it, you're going to find that ketosis will help you in some way.
And you know, it's because we're treating our bodies with optimum fuel. It's clearing away a lot of the things that are clogging us up. One of the things that I know I love the benefits from the supplements that I take is the clearing up of brain fog and inflammation. And being in ketosis does such good in that area. And it's amazing to know that is so reachable and so attainable, and leveling out of our blood sugar levels, and not being so dependent on a lot of stuff that's really chemically and garbage like, and all that sort of things. It's really good. Carol, you mentioned a term, exogenous ketones.
Yes.
So there's two types of ketones. Can you speak to that?
I sure can. So endogenous ketones are ketones that are created within your system. They're created within your liver, and a ketone is comprised of three different things. It's got BHB, which is beta hydroxate butyrate. It's got excuse my pronunciation, but acetoacetate, ASA, and acetone. And these are all byproducts. These byproducts are called ketones. So ketones are acids that are made when your body begins using fat instead of carbs for energy. So that kind of puts what we've been talking to together. So the big question is this obtainable through diet alone, or can you do it exogenously, which brings us to exogenous ketones. And basically what exogenous ketones are is we have taken the BHB, the beta hydroxybutyrate, and we have fermented it into a drinkable supplement that can put you into a blood glucose state of ketosis within 1 hour and lasts for up to 4 hours. So basically, the reason that we've done that is a couplefold. The state of ketosis is amazing. There's no question about it. However, the state of ketosis can be hard to achieve and maintain. Yes, you can do it through diet alone, and there's a lot of purists out there who are going to 100% say ketosis is only done by diet and there's no other option. And you know what? To them, I always say that's fantastic if you can achieve that. Like, that is amazing. Kudos to you. You've obviously got a little extra money, because to do strict keto, you're supposed to eat only grass-fed, non-GMO, organic meats, organic fruits, organic vegetables, things of that nature. And we just all know that's not available to the general person to feed their entire family organic and non-GMO foods. So if you're living farm to table and you don't get your period, because when your hormone levels change, you get kicked out of ketosis for women, and you don't get stressed out at all, ever, because when your cortisol levels go up, you kick yourself out of ketosis. And I don't know about you guys, but I get stressed at least once a day. So I would literally never be in ketosis my entire life. But if you can achieve all of that with the diet and no stress and no hormones, then you're right. You can stay in ketosis naturally. But for the rest of us that want to experience this miracle state of ketosis, that is why exogenous ketones have been introduced to the marketplace.
So, I mean, you make some really valid points there. Is eating ketogenic doable? Absolutely. Is it sustainable? Yeah, I think so. Is it it's not complicated, but it's not always that easy. Like anything else, you have to be really super prepared, and you have to have things set up for you to be successful for that. And like Carol was saying, you really have to go just strip everything down from any of sort of conventionally available stuff. And it's not we're not able to do that all of the time. So the aspect of having a supplement that will put you into that state allows you to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more real with it, because things happen. The cool thing about it is that now you mentioned the term doing strict keto, then you'd be able to have the a better chance of being in ketosis all the time. So like what are there 2, 3, what are the categories?
Sure. So, if again, these are catchphrases, and I don't necessarily even like them, to be honest with you, Sandra, because I think they sound negative in a lot of ways. But strict keto is you're eating under 21 grams of carbs a day, which is not a lot. That means you're only getting your carbs from green leafy vegetables, maybe some nuts. No dairy is allowed on strict keto. Again, only organic meats, non-GMO meats, grass-fed meats, because they believe that you are what the animal eats as well. So if the animal is a grain-fed animal, then you shouldn't be eating that on strict keto. So that's a very hard diet to maintain for most people. And, that's what strict keto is. Lazy keto is kind of the same. You're going to stay under 21 grams of carbs a day, but it doesn't matter how you get there. So if you want to eat a pound of cheese and some nuts and some almond flour muffins and whatever else, as long as you're staying under 21 grams of carbs a day, you're still doing a lazy keto diet. And then dirty keto is what they consider when you don't know at all what you're eating. So for example, if you're going to A&W or whatever your local burger place is and getting a lettuce wrap instead of a burger in a bun, lots of people would say that that's a lazy keto diet, because you don't really know what's in the sauce. You don't know what's in the burger. There's probably soy in the burger. There's probably all of these things in the burger. And if you're eating a lazy keto diet even once a week, I promise you're not in ketosis. People think that you are.
Yeah, and that's such a good example about that. I've become obsessed with reading labels, right? Because if you want to maintain under a certain level of carbohydrates, those they just sneak them in everywhere. I remember years and years ago, I dabbled a bit with the Atkins diet, and one of the things that I really learned there is that don't be thinking you should go get a rotisserie chicken. Those are injected with, some sort of chemical soup to help them brown and taste and all that. It's full of sugar. It is absolutely full of sugar. So many restaurants use shortcuts and things and fillers. Scrambled eggs in a restaurant often has something to the equivalent of pancake batter in them, and it's just like it not only is that kind of gross when you think about it, but it's things that the food industry, and let's be honest about that, it is an industry. A lot of restaurants, they get their all of their ingredients delivered in a big truck that goes over, to everywhere. Of course, there are different places, the smaller places that, you see the chefs at the farmer's market and all that kind of stuff. But commercially prepared sauces and foods and stuff they have so much garbage in them. And, the perception of that you're doing, you're picking up roast chicken. I didn't have any cranberry sauce or anything. I just had the chicken. Well, if you got it from the rotisserie at the grocery store, it's full of sugar.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, people just don't realize exactly how hard it is to stick to that, and then you get frustrated, and then you end up quitting, because whenever you get frustrated, that's when you quit, right? If you're not seeing results. But I think that one of the major things about exogenous ketones for me is I also eat a ketogenic diet. I am not 100% relying on the ketones to be my savior. And I am using it in conjunction with a ketogenic diet, and I find that it gives me extra satiation, that it gives me extra drive. Basically, the things that you get while in ketosis. So people don't understand this as well, is that, or they haven't been educated that there's different levels of ketosis. Like you get into ketosis at like 0.2, but you can actually go to like 0.4 or 0.6 depending on the deeper state of ketosis that you're in. So I myself want to be in the deepest state there is because it is the best. You have mental clarity for days. You have energy for days. Your mood is lifted up. I mean, people around me like me so much better since starting a ketogenic lifestyle. And not only that, but your skin gets better, your gut health gets better, laziness. I mean, when I started exogenous ketones, I knew I was going to start the ketogenic diet, and I thought it might just help me a little bit. And I spoke to a good friend of mine, Ken Cools. I'll give him a shout out because he's an Olympic coach who practiced the ketogenic diet for 17 years with diet alone before someone introduced him to exogenous ketones. And he's a guy I've met. I've shaken his hand. Great guy. And he said, I'm not going to try this. I know you can't get into ketosis without a ketogenic diet. This is garbage, blah, blah, blah. And one day he ran out of his pre-gym workout. And so someone had sent him a free box of these ketones, and he decided to try one before his workout. And this is a guy who's lived and breathed a pure, strict ketogenic diet. And he said the difference in his workout on the first package was like night and day. He never went back. And he compares it to when you're on a ketogenic diet, you're driving down the street, you're a Ferrari, okay? You look good, you're sizzling, you're going fast, your engine's purring, people want to ride in you. You know what I'm saying? And when you add the exogenous ketones, you put yourself into such a deeper state of ketosis that he's like, you're all of a sudden, you're an F-16. You're whizzing past everybody. You look cooler than cool, and you're dropping bombs, baby. And that is so true, because I've had a week where I still practice the ketogenic diet, but I ran out of ketones in between orders. And yeah, I still followed it and I still felt great. But the deeper you are, the better you feel. And once you feel that, you want more.
Yeah, we all want to feel better more often. And, when there's tools and things that can help us do that, that's such a great step in the right direction. One thing that I did want to touch on, which is a little bit of a caution, but also for me, I find it such a benefit. And this is nothing to do with the ketone product. This is pure and simple of being in really, really deep ketosis. You are very, very much more susceptible to alcohol and stimulants. Yes. And it's and so when you're reading any keto books, I've been getting keto books from the library, it's like, caution, do not drink and drive on these products, like, watch out. And I experienced that myself. It's pretty powerful. And
tell us more, Sandra.
It's pretty powerful, and I'm loving it, because one of my goals that I've spoken about is to lessen my relationship that I have had for so many years with alcohol. Mm-hmm. And I've done that. I've made huge strides over the past, since my cancer experience and through all of that, and the oils and everything like that. But oh my goodness, I am the lightest, the cheapest date, such a lightweight now with alcohol. You have to be really careful, just be advised. But how cool is that? Oh, wow. Right?
It's crazy cool.
I love it.
Basically, it enhances your experience with anything, whether that's good or bad. Like if you normally get a little tipsy on 3 drinks, it's probably going to hit you after 1. And, I do intermittent fasting as well, which can be part of a ketogenic diet, or lifestyle, I should say. It's not part of the ketogenic diet, but a lot of people in the lifestyle do intermittent fasting between meals. And again, the reason that you would want to do this is because you want to keep your glucose levels down. Every time you digest food, your body raises the glucose levels to digest the food. And so by fasting, you take away, one or two, some people who eat a ketogenic diet only eat once or twice a day. So you take away all the other times of the day that your glucose levels would have risen, and that has really beneficial health benefits to your body and your brain. But what I wanted to also talk about was just myself. So let's talk just actual stats. When I started a ketogenic diet, my BP was at 70. No ifs, ands, or buts. I checked it myself. It was at 70, which is in the higher end of, where you should be at a resting BP. 2 months into following a ketogenic diet, my resting BP was 58.
Wow.
Which is in the elite athlete category. Now, I started this lifestyle at 260 pounds, and at that point I had got down to 233, I believe. I was in no way, shape, or form at elite athlete status. However, my heart was, or at least my resting heart rate, within a couple of months, and you can't argue with that. And then when I started, friends started to say, hey, Carol, what are you doing? You look so good, like Sandra. And, oh, how come you're so happy? People were even messaging me going, you know what? I hate your happy attitude. Oh, no. And I don't know whether to just hate you or try it. So I'm going to try it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And the miraculous results that I have seen in my friends and family, these are people who would definitely call me on it if it had no effect on them. And in fact, people whose opinion I really care about. And I mean, we're talking two people off BP meds. One person's triglycerides, those are the bad ones that cause the heart plaque and everything else, had gone down to a manageable level. One person came off insulin within the first month. And I'm not a doctor. I'm saying this was their experience and their doctor that took them off their insulin within the first month on it. I had one person who was on high BP meds end up in hospital because her BP got so low. It's not funny. I'm laughing because with this supplement, her BP got so low that she thought, what's going on? They went to the hospital and they said, you don't need your medication anymore. Your BP is fine without it. It's taking you too low. And the other big area that it's having remarkable success in, and I can't use the actual word, but when people are having anxious moments or when people are having depressed thoughts, it is having a huge impact on the mental health community. And that is what is not being talked about. Because to me, yes, you're going to lose fat on this. Is the fat going to drip off of you? Yes, it is, because you're burning fat for fuel. However, you're going to forget about it real soon because you start feeling so good in your brain. And what the ketogenic diet does is it breaks down the proteins that build up in the neurotransmitters in your brain. And what that does is that restores youth. It restores youth in your skin. It restores youth in your system. It restores youth in the way that you view yourself. Like, can you imagine, for me, when you're 18, you think you're going to be a singer or an actress in Hollywood. You think you're going to be all these things, and then life happens. Then you wake up at 44, and none of that stuff has happened. And then you start a new lifestyle that gives your brain a different type of fuel, and all of a sudden you remember all those dreams and all those things that you wanted to achieve, and then you've got the drive to step out and do it.
Yes. And when Carol and I were talking about wanting to do this show, that's one of the really strong themes that we wanted to get across, is that up-leveling your health, your life, your fitness, what you eat, what you do, how you move your body, whatever it is. There's so many different ways, but when you do that and when you commit to it, it lights a fire, it flips a switch, and it's like you wake up. And so many people, and not strictly women, but I think a lot of women have gotten into, they've sort of given up on thinking that they can achieve something or do something. And you know what? They don't have the energy to even try. So we want to say that, of course, this isn't for everyone, but we're not here giving you a sales pitch. We're sitting here telling you how it's made us feel. And I want to give Carol a chance to talk a little bit about these ketones and how you can get your hands on them if you want to try. And then after that, I want to tell you about what I've been using, some essential oils to help me like crazy with the keto process. So Carol, we've been saying ketones, it's a supplement. Yeah. what the heck it's all about.
Okay, so we kind of touched on it a little bit, and basically an exogenous ketone is a supplement that you take. Endogenously means your body creates it. Exogenously means that you're putting something into it. And this is a supplement that is based in science. The one that I use has got so many patents on it, I couldn't even get into them with you. But basically, what it does is it puts your body into a state of ketosis. And the reason that that's important is that not everybody can do it by themselves. Not everybody can afford to eat that way. Not everybody has the resources to eat that way. People like vegetarians, vegans, it's very, very difficult for people who are vegetarians or vegans to get enough protein in their diet to follow a ketogenic diet by itself. So what? They never get to experience the miracle of ketosis? No. There is a supplement that can help you get into ketosis and stay in ketosis. And the reason that that's important is, a lot of people that want to achieve this, just can't do it orally by themselves. And this exogenous ketone will get you there. And it's completely the first naturally fermented ketone on the market. And again, I promote it as part of a healthy ketogenic lifestyle to help keep you in deep ketosis. And I feel that whatever diet you do or whatever you do that makes you feel better, that gives you a step ahead in the day, that makes you feel fire in your gut is good. I don't care what you do, just do something. Do something to make yourself feel better about yourself, to build self-confidence, because I bet the better that you feel about yourself, the more self-confidence you have, the better parent you are, the better wife you are, the better husband you are, the better person you are, and the more that you can give back.
Preach, Carol. Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's that fire, and it's when you have that and you start feeling better, and it goes beyond that and you start feeling great. There's no limit to what you'd be able to do with that. And it is it's really super exciting. And I know Carol and I have been getting together over the past few months and seeing each other every 2 or 3 weeks, and we're both noticing that we're starting to see our faces slim down a little bit and getting we're already good looking, but we're getting even
100%,
better looking.
Watch out.
and you've got a wedding coming up.
I do. Sorry, I'm off the market, ladies.
So
or gentlemen.
Or what? So what a great time to be focusing on your health and feeling better, looking good, and just being. Not that I didn't think you were nice when I first met you, but you're a lot nicer now, and I want to be a nicer person too. And it's when life happens and stress and everything you got on your plate, anything that can help along the way is fantastic.
Who doesn't want to feel better? When you know better, you do better.
Oh, love that. Carol, how can people find you?
People can find me on Facebook at Keto Carol, Be Your Own Change, or you can find me on Instagram at Carol Rosher, or again on Facebook, my personal page, Carol Rosher, and YouTube, Keto Carol.
Right on. Well, that's. I encourage you to. If you're interested, if that sounds appealing to you, check it out. You can totally. Carol's a great person to connect with. Super supportive. She's got a lot of resources to pass your way. So the eating a keto diet, as we've been talking about all hour, it's nice to have some tools along the way to help support you along any sort of journey that you're doing. And what I wanted to tell you about is a couple of the essential oils that I've been using that have been really, really helping me out. Our sense of smell is so tied into moods, memories, and emotions. And we can tap into this by using a particular oil to anchor in a positive feeling towards a new behavior. And, it's really amazing on how that works. There's also oils that are specifically designed to boost your metabolism, cleanse, and help with cravings, for example. And one of my favorites, and that I've been using quite a bit over the past couple of weeks, where is it? Here it is. It's grapefruit. So grapefruit essential oil, simply by inhaling it. So either in a diffuser or like I've been doing by just twisting the cap off and taking an inhalation from the bottle. The constituents within a high quality therapeutic grade grapefruit essential oil will actually help to curb your hunger cravings. So that is something that I've been doing aromatically. We also have another oil. It is a metabolic blend, and it boosts your metabolism. Again, helps to control cravings and gives you a energized feeling while you are doing any sort of weight loss program. And I hate the name of the oil, but I love how it works. It's called Smart and Sassy, or Slim and Sassy in the US. And again, it is the metabolic blend. Hang on, I got a sip of water. It's the metabolic blend, and I use this in my water in the mornings when I go to the gym, or in the afternoon when I sort of need a perk up around 3 o'clock. It has 5 really, really fantastic oils that are really conducive for supporting any sort of a weight loss journey. And these are cinnamon, ginger, grapefruit, lemon, and peppermint. So it's really, really fantastic. And you know, the other one I've been using, I use oils every single day. And when Carol mentioned the fact that stress can kick you out of ketosis, that's another reason why, again, I am so grateful for my essential oils, because for most of the time, I'm a pretty cool cucumber. And, you know, I think over the course of these past 2 months, being able to manage my response to stress with my daily rituals that I have with my oils, with supporting my sleep, with having these go-to things that I can just tap into at any time, now making the connection that stress will put you out of ketosis, I'm super grateful for that. So I hope you've learned something today. I hope you found it entertaining, educational, and inspiring. And if you have any questions at all about how keto works, how ketosis works, and would like to find out about the supplement that Carol sells, reach out to her. She is an amazing resource for that. If you would be interested in doing a ketogenic diet through nutritional basis only by what you eat, and you'd like some essential oils for some help along with way with that, reach out to me. I can help you with that. I want to, both of us we connect so well together because we're both in the business of helping people, and with sharing our passion and our excitement for life and helping others to achieve the same as well. I want to thank you again for tuning in. This is Chronic Wellness here on CHLY. We are part of Wellness Wednesdays, where each and every Wednesday in this time slot, we are coming to you and talking about how to live your very best life. I normally do the second Wednesday of each month, but I'm switching it up a bit for August. So you will see me in here on the first Wednesday of the month in August. Thanks again so much to Carol Rosher for spending the hour with me, even when we had to cuddle up. It was kind of fun.
I didn't even swear.
No, you didn't. I didn't even give a listener warning. Thank you so much for listening. There will be a replay of this next Wednesday on my Facebook page. In the meantime, I wish you all wellness. And like I always say, you don't need to be chronically ill to want to be chronically well. And let's all have a fabulous week of wellness.